Coming this week to RealCatholicTV.com, CIA Catholic Investigative Agency, Rebellion in the Church. At last, an explanation of what has gone so wrong in the Catholic Church the last 50 years. The abuses at Mass, the sex scandals, the loss of faith at Catholic schools and universities, the desertion of so many priests and religious. How did it all happen, and what is the answer to the rebellion in the Church? Stay tuned to RealCatholicTV.com this week for CIA Catholic Investigative Agency.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. The progressive crowd in the church that likes to imagine themselves still Catholic is constantly going on about justice. The problem is they don't really believe it when it comes right down to it. Justice and charity are the furthest things from many of these people's minds. Stand in the way of their phony agenda and watch how they mow you down. They will not give a hoot about justice in your individual case, just the concept of justice. They blather on and on nonstop about the poor, but don't think twice about adding to the ranks of the poor by the unemployed. Case in point, a layman with a wife and family who used to work for one of the offices of the Catholic Campaign for Human Development was recently fired for contacting faithful Catholic groups about what he sees as corruption at the CCHD. In response to his firing for what amounts to telling the truth of what really goes on at the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, the CCHD, he sent the following email to a number of faithful Catholic groups around the country. For the moment, he wants us to keep his identity hidden because he's afraid that coming out in public fully about this might lessen his chances of getting a job and supporting his wife and family. That is completely understandable. That said, his concern for providing for his family in no way lessens the truthfulness of his experience and his knowledge. Here is what he has to say. Quote, "The USCCB, its administrators, bishops, or lay people in charge of the entire CCHD programs are not an official arm or representative of the Vatican or the Roman Catholic Church. In no way should any Roman Catholic obedient to the magisterium support a collection that has violated donor intent since its inception. Despite the attempts made by many well-intentioned individuals in the local CCHD office, the powers that be at the USCCB and some local bishops and priests have plans to return to business as usual with this program. The lack of respect for the sanctity of life and the destruction of the necessary societal institutions of traditional marriage and family are the major reason for the moral, physical, and spiritual poverty we suffer in the Western world. Pray that our Catholic Church in America be protected under Our Lady of Guadalupe, and that the culture of life defeat the evil culture of death that has permeated the USCCB and specifically the CCHD for far too long." End quote. There you have it, an insider coming out and saying what many on the outside have been saying for a long time. What goes on at the CCHD, the cover-ups, obfuscations, and denials that this organization has taken tens of millions of dollars from faithful, Mass-attending Catholics, and given that money to groups that line up against church teaching with regard to abortion and homosexuality, these actions can simply no longer be supported by Catholics and their money. This coming Sunday, many parishioners across the country will witness what amounts to a dog and pony show in the pulpit of their local church as Sister such and such or Brother whoever is allowed to speak from the pulpit and grease the skids for the following weekend's CCHD collection. It's not what you're hearing, it's what you're not hearing. The CCHD was founded and run by Saul Alinsky-trained priests from Chicago and is neck-deep in his philosophy of community organizing under the name of social justice and fighting poverty. If someone who was on the inside of this operation went to the meetings, heard the discussions, lived this life, and was dumped for speaking the truth, if such a person is telling you not to give, well, maybe it's time to refuse to put a penny in the basket. And as we reported earlier this week in the Vortex, the Bishops' Conference is refusing to release the names of the organizations they plan on giving your money to until after your money is collected. Sorry, CCHD, the jig is up. Your house of cards needs to be knocked down. God bless you all. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.